Hey everybody, my name is Mike Butler. I am a solution architect for Progress Chef. That's a picture of me when I was here on campus in 1994. I thought it was appropriate that it was on there. Yep, I'm going to tell you a little bit about everything as code. So my background is I'm a Windows administrator by heart. I've been doing that since before 2000, but I carried that on, moved into some managed services. I was a product owner for a couple products, and eventually took on Chef as a product ownership for a very large organization. So I was really the manager of the banana stand of running Chef and the entire program there. I'm kind of working from down to up to back down. As you know, Chef is about infrastructure as code, and compliance as code, policy as code, where you codify everything and apply that to your system. So we kind of do that through pipelines, and we do best practices. So as a part of that, and as a part of my DevOps transformation, I built a DevOps team. I know that's a bad word, but I brought in some developers, brought in some operations people, and built an entire team out of that. So then we started talking about pipelines and building everything the right way, shifting everything left, doing infrastructure code as code the proper way. Thanks, Maddie, for helping me do that. That was awesome. So what came after that was me actually learning a little bit of markdown. We used FlowDoc. One of the things I loved about DevOps Days was learning, really just experiencing chat ops that we talked about, and started doing everything in markdown in FlowDoc. So after that, I was like, why? I should be able to do this. I should be able to use markdown and do other things as code. I'm like, great, brilliant, let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing we did was really documentation as code. That documentation as code, we lost a couple of our contracts, so we basically were stripping everything down. We pulled out Confluence, we pulled out Jive, we moved away from SharePoint, and we started codifying all of our documentation. We used Docusaurus as our code generator. We built a Jenkins pipeline for that, and we pushed everything into a Docker container and ran it that way. So that was a really nice way to kind of keep it all isolated and built, and started really moving the documentation left. So why stop there? I used the Docusaurus to build an entire training program, so kind of training as code. You just step through each module and work your way through to learn how to use Chef. And then after that, started doing presentation as code. So using Remark.js, I just took HTML. It's an HTML wrapper that you can put markdown code in, and it'll do your slideshows for you, kind of like that shows there. Next, notes as code. I'm like, this is awesome. I scrapped OneNote, I scrapped Word, and did everything as code. All my notes today are all done in VS Code and pushed up to GitHub. It makes it easy for publishing, so if I have a note that I want to share with somebody, then I just throw it in a folder and it automatically gets published as soon as I do a merge. So after that, meetings as code was another idea that I had. So we used GitHub for all my town halls, my one-on-ones, and I would create issues for each one, use GitHub's project board, and we would just do Kanban. We were talking about it, we moved it to discussed. We started doing that with DevOps Lean coffee meetings. We did that twice a month. Everybody would participate by putting an issue on the board, and then we got together and we sorted the issues of who wanted who wanted to talk about what, and move it along. My son is in First Robotics. He's in FRC. I started taking some of that ideas to their program. I was a mentor. So I helped the programming team, and then also as we went to competition, the students would sit in the stands and I would sit with them, and we actually did all of their notes for each run, each qualification, and put them in code so that when we merged it, it showed up down in the pits. And then the Monday following, we did a retrospective as code. So basically just guided them through how to do a retrospective. We put it all in, the ideas that they wanted, what went well, what they can improve on next year, and then they're going to have that for next year. So that is everything is code. Here is some thank you as code. I appreciate everybody. It's time. email to that's my email and my LinkedIn. Hope to see you guys again soon and talk about everything as code, maybe in one of the open spaces.